Hi everyone, I'm Juliet and today I'm joined by Graham from Public Input. Today we'll be showing you their community engagement software used in governance. Thank you for joining me today, Graham. Can you tell us a little bit about Public Input to start us off?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again for having me. I'm excited to be able to share this. Public Input is a software built specifically for government, and the challenge in engaging a broad representation of residents in these communities. So our goal is to provide what we call a mixed mode format, where there is all variety of communications tools available at the same time, so that we hear a representative audience. Our software is divided into three modules, essentially created to span that relational aspect of public engagement. We want to hear, on the one hand, through the engagement hub, what people are saying. We want to make sure that we've got the tools to collect that data. Like I said, whether it's via text messaging or emails or live public meetings, online surveys. But then in the middle here with our database, we want to understand that too. We want to be able to collect it, know what it means, know who it came from, and how to get back in touch with them, so that on the third side, with the communications cloud, we can respond to those participants, build that relationship by closing the loop.
Thank you. Can you tell me more about the type of events that work well on Public Input?
Yeah, absolutely. So in talking about synchronous engagement, or engagement that happens in real time. One of the things that we learned was that there's a much greater need, right, since March and the pandemic that we're all working through. But we also know that because of, like what I said earlier, the need for this type of engagement to be available, we actually do focus on a lot of asynchronous engagement as well. Again, living kind of in tandem, so that there's an opportunity for everybody. So whether it's a live meeting, a virtual public meeting is what we call it, or simply an email campaign, so sending out a survey via, to anybody who's signed up in a community. It could be an online discussion forum, or even a text message survey where people can see a sign and have an opportunity to contribute. All of those types of events are supported in our software, and the most important part is aggregated in a database, so that over time we understand who these people were, we understand what method they preferred to communicate with, and we can understand a community better as we collect that data.
Can you tell me more about how the synchronous events work?
Absolutely, yeah, and this is, again, it's something that we've learned in the past several months, and had to really shift our approach based on. We used to focus almost solely on asynchronous, with the exception of live polling function when we had community meetings, the ability to engage people on particular polling issue if they were at a community center. But because of all of us being remote, and the inability for us to have meetings as they're required federally, even, the virtual public meeting has become a cornerstone of our software. Communities across the country use it for city council meetings, for what we call formal comment periods, when the federal government is involved and federal dollars are being appropriated. And essentially, what we want to provide is the opportunity for the public to drop in on a meeting like they used to, except this time by phoning in or by going to a website, and they can watch the live stream of the meeting and participate in any of the polling exercises.
That's excellent. And my last question for you is, can you tell us a little bit about how the price structure works for Public Input?
What we focus on is annual subscriptions, and we focus on a couple of variables for those subscriptions. One, the size of the population of a community. Two, where its funding comes from, whether there's FTA funds or FHWA funds, if it's just local funds, and then, of course, lastly, the number of departments that we expect to support from a training and tech support kind of perspective.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Graham. That's all the questions I have for you today, and I'm excited to have you and Public Input as part of our showcase coming up September 29th.